Hello and welcome back to another Demis Hellen tutorial. We're going to take a look at how to use fifths in our music, especially the progressive trance, which is what we're going to focus on today, and just make some really simple melodies and build an idea really quickly. Now I'm going to show you something on screen and then I'm going to play something that deviates slightly from it, and then we're going to talk about how that deviates. So jumping into the MIDI clip, you can see we've already got C3 highlighted there. We're in 16th notes, that doesn't really matter, so that's why we're super zoomed in at the moment. Now we want to pick the fifth note. Now we know all the white notes in the C major scale, they're all white. So let's have a look. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that gives us G, and that's our fifth. And we get that sound if we actually play it in the same octave. Now, to make the full triad chord, you'd use the third as well, which would be the E here, and that would give you your chord. But it sounds a little bit too happy, a little bit too upbeat, and it's not something that I'm looking for in this tutorial, so we're going to remove that. That explains why that is in the position it is. It's the fifth, it's the end of that basic triad chord. And that is a nice simple start. But how can we develop this? Now we can use these over 4 bars. Let's put this over a full 4 bar section so we have a nice loop, and we'll change each bar to match a new chord section. So taking a look at the second one, if we just simply move up to D and just move each note accordingly in the scale, which is all white notes, remember, so we're just going to shift it up. Doesn't sound too great, but we're going to work with this. So now we have our second chord using the first and the fifth, and we're going to build this again into the next one. So what's going to sound well here? So we're going to go straight up to F. So just moving everything all in sync, you can see it's already dropped the note onto the C, which is the same distance as all of the rest. So now we have this. You can hear this a lot, especially in progressive trance. It's used across all music really, but in its simple form that is how it sounds, and straight away we've already got some sort of build-up. So really all you need to know is pick your scale, and we've picked all white notes of the C major, and then just count including the first note, the fifth note. So you'd have C, D, E, F, G. That would be your fifth note, which is this first chord. So how do we use this? Well, let's change up how this sounds. I'm actually going to start on the F here, and we're going to work up because it sounds better in this section. So we're going to go to G and check that the white note is on the top, which is correct. And then we're going to go to A, and that picks out the E. So that's all fine. So this is the chord structure that we're going to be using. And I'm going to drop that 1 octave because it's a little bit too high for me. So all I'm going to do is mess around now with the notes in the scale. So I'm going to pick the starting note, which is C, but I'm going to deviate from that just slightly. So starting here at F and C, I'm going to start to deviate the melody. So I'm going to copy this over so you can see the original to the right. And we're going to change this up. So the first one is going to have an introductory note, and I'm going to start from B. We know it's in the scale because it's a white note, and that's the scale that we've chosen. So now we have a little bit of character. Straight away there is a melody forming without even trying anything. We've just used the fifth, and we've just dropped it down to the fourth note, which is the B. How can we make this even more interesting is just let's have some leading notes into each one. We could have the C overlap into the next chord change and then it rises, so it mimics exactly what we're doing here, and then we can do the same on this one. So now we've created something that has a little bit of interest, and it stands out from the rest of the crowd instead of just having that straightforward chord system playing. Now we can deviate even more from this, and we can create something that actually sounds a little bit more interesting. And let's use the second part here. So what we'll do is we'll copy this entire section. So we're working on a new section and we can look back at how we started. So here we are with a new copied piece, and we are going to change up how this sounds. So I'm just going to play this on the keyboard for you so you can hear exactly what I'm going for. If we just remove these so it's easier for you to understand, I'm going to copy and paste this, and copy and paste this. And that is all I've just played. Straight away it has a little bit more character. It's got the leading note, but then it's just repeating. So okay, we have that section there, that all sounds good, but how can we deviate even more? Because you heard a little bit on the end that I changed. So let's just play this slowly so you can still see on screen what I'm playing. So I'm just playing this quicker. So I'm just picking notes where things might have actually gone. So on that last bit we had this. We had something very similar to that anyway on the end, and all I was doing was moving up to the note where it should have been, so going back to its true fifth form and doing a little roll down. Higher than that, we could choose there, so then it passes the fifth halfway through and then lands on the C to revert back to where it was. The F didn't quite hit the high note that you would expect in your head. The G is going to hit that. So now we have another chord forming, and you've guessed it, we've created another triad, C, E and G. That is the starting point of the tutorial where we had the C and the G, and then I put in there the E to give you the triad chord. So all I'm doing is recreating the chord in arpeggiated form. This is how I develop melodies, but I do this on the keyboard. I don't tend to draw it in. My way is actually playing it live and messing around with how things sound, the harmonies. So on this second one here, we could have a roll. And it could really even be as more simple as introducing the E there on that particular one. So you can see again, all I'm doing in the way I'm thinking is that's on C. What's the next thing for a standard triad? It's the E and then it'd be the G. So we could have the E and the G like that. So we have a roll up. Or we could have it the opposite way around, have the G first and then the E. So it's rolling into the next chord. But I think it sounds more elegant just having the rise to the E, keeping the exact same pattern of the notation, and it just gives you a little bit more character into your sound. So with the way that I've designed this particular sound that we're using, I'm going to copy and paste the bass down here. To get an idea of how this track is going to build up, how it sounds with those lower tones. And there we have it. If you enjoyed the tutorial, please let me know down in the comments, and also hit the like button and the subscribe button so you get to see the uploads that are incoming before anybody else. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so that you get that notification. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.